Hello, everyone. Good evening, guys. If you can hear me, please give me a yes in the chat box. And please accept my apologies for being a little late. There was some technical issue due to which I could not join. Okay. Wonderful. So I hope everyone can hear me. However, only 4 or 5 people have confirmed. So I'm assuming that everyone is able to hear me loud and clear. All right, then. So today we'll talk about strategies that can really help you ace the verbal section of the SAT. All right, so let's first have a very quick look at the structure of the test. I'm sure everyone is already familiar with it. However, let's just ensure that everyone is clear with this. So first we have reading and writing, 54 questions, 64 minutes, 200 to 800. Pairs of passages, short passages with one question, and vocab-based questions, grammar-based questions is what you're doing. Math, 44 questions, 70 minutes, 200 to 800. Algebra, data analysis, problem solving, geometry, trigonometry are the major topics that you will be tested on. Okay. Each of these sections will be divided into 2 subsections. So verbal, you will have 27 questions on each and 22 on the math part. It's a sectional adaptive test. So performance on each of the sections will decide the difficulty level of the next similar section. So have a look at it here on your screen. These are all the topics that you need to prepare for the math section. All of these topics will be covered from scratch in our training program. All right. So we do not assume any knowledge. All right. So all of these topics will be covered from the scratch. We'll be covering everything, the strategies, rules, how to go about them, how to solve these questions faster as well. Now, when it comes to verbal, we have 52 single passages and 2 sets of paired passages, right? So a paired passage is basically when 2 passages are there, and based on that, there will be 1 question. However, these are all short paragraphs, and 1 question each is what you get. Let's talk about the reading question types. So here on your screen, you're able to see the question types that you will be having on the reading sections of the test. Okay. So on the reading part, we have word in context, central idea, primary purpose, infer, imply, function, strengthen, weaken, dual passages, and data support. All right. As I said, just like math, we'll be covering all of these question types in different classes. So we learn how to go about a typical vocab and context. And similarly, we learn all of these questions. So any questions so far related to structure, pattern, syllabus, anyone, please ask. Guys, a quick yes or no from your end is something that I would really request you to. Please be a little prompt on the chat. And let me know in case you have any questions. Please feel free to ask. Yeah, someone was saying something.
No questions.
All right, let's move on with one of the question types here. Now, this is what a vocab in context question looks like, right? And this is the easiest question. So please don't bother telling me the answer here, right? That's not the point of this. So we want to understand what sort of strategy will work so that you can apply that to even the more difficult questions. And then obviously you can solve even, all types of questions related to this. So what sort of strategy should we apply and what are common traps? So a common mistake people do is you look at the answer choices later. And in a question as easy as this, sure, that will work really well. But what happens when it comes to difficult questions, right? And by the way, let me tell you, SAT is not really asking very difficult words out here, right? So yes, there are some words that you have to learn, but it's more about understanding the context of it. Hence, they call it vocab in context. So I'm sure you understand one word can mean multiple things based on the context, right? So what is the first strategy? First step is basically to not look at answer choices straight away. Rather, you should always go back, read the paragraph, remove the word in question, and try to plug in your word that you think will fit in there. For example, millennials who reached adulthood around the turn of the century and now outnumber baby boomers tend to dash cities over suburbs and are far more willing. So, if they're far more willing than their parents to ride buses and subways, we can say that they sort of like cities over suburbs, right? And if that's the case, then obviously, if I match it now, final step is to match my prediction with the answer choices. Indulge, resemble, serve, or gone. Prefer is the only choice that matches like out here. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So that is the kind of strategy I would want you to apply. So here is the first question, affect, line 15. This is the word that I would want you to remove. And please do not answer it on mic. Do not answer it on chat. I'm launching a poll for you. Please only mark your choices on the poll. I repeat, do not answer on the chat and do not answer on the mic. Please go ahead, mark your choice on the poll. Apply the same strategy as we've discussed. Let's see what sort of answer choice you're going to go for. All right, guys. Now that's plenty of time. So 1 minute is the sort of time frame that we're targeting here. And I can only see 50% people being able to answer. Ending the poll now. Please mark in case you're not selected. Okay. So as you can see in your poll results here, only 50% people were even able to answer, guys. So that's how difficult these questions can be at times if you really do not have a strategy. And out of the 54%, 67% have opted for the right choice claim. So what should we do? We should not look at the answer choices first. I do not dash to regard myself, Mr. President, as holding or as fit to hold the helm in this combat with the political elements, but I have a duty to perform. So what is it saying? It says that I do not want to do it, but I have to do it. So I can say sort of I don't want to, or I don't think that I can do it, but I have to do it. So these two words can only possibly match with claim. It cannot match with influence or defend or object. Hence, B part, the only logical choice that we should have. Next one, let's try again. Fidelity here, line 19. If I remove the word, let's see. And please try and answer on the poll. I'm yet to find anyone who has gotten the question correct without answering it. So please give it a All right, guys, ending the poll now. Let's have a look at what choice we're going for. Now, if you look at your poll results here, clearly majority has opted for D part, which is indeed the right choice. Absolutely correct. So here it says, I have a duty and I mean to perform it with. So what are the words that we associate with duty, guys? So duty is performed with passion, commitment, honesty, sincerity, responsibility. These are the words that come to mind. And none of the words, rebellion, excitement, disbelief, none of these match anything as such. So in that case, even if I don't know steadfastness, you should have gone for steadfastness. Steadfastness simply means someone who's very firm, resolute, someone you can bank upon, someone you can depend upon. Okay. So, as I said, understanding the right strategy can really make it a lot easier for you to answer these questions with a higher accuracy and a higher efficiency as well. Here now we have another question, which is basically an inference question. What can you, the passage suggest about better ways? This is where it is mentioned. Let's see how you go about it. Give this a try. The poll is live. Please mark your answers on the poll. Let's see. Please go ahead. All right. So if we look at it here, ending the poll now, by the way, in case you've not answered, please select now. Slightly better participation. So a couple of people have answered more, 70%. Let's have a look at it though. Now, whenever it comes to a question such as this, which is an inference question, you've got to be a lot more careful. And you, of course, must make sure that you read the entire paragraph here. For example, in an ideal world, the climate provisions now making their way through Congress as part of the Inflation Reduction Act would directly reduce greenhouse gas emissions and discourage the use of fossil fuels. But with the Congress so closely divided, that's not the world we live in. So that's not the world we live in. In an ideal world, this act would really work well, but ideally, practically, it will not. So even though there may be better ways, what does it mean? It simply means that this act that we are going for is not really the best solution we have. And the only logical choice in that case must be A part, that the act is imperfect because there are better options available. Government is the one bringing. Legislation can be used to achieve better ways. It is through legislation only. And it implies they were necessary. That's not what better ways implies, that they're necessary or not. Better ways serves the purpose of telling us that the act that we are going for right now is not really the best solution. And as you can see, just one person has gone for it, 13% here. And that is what could happen unless we are really certain of how to go about on these questions, right? So understanding the nuances of the SAT, understanding each of these question types is really, really very, very important. Similarly, we learn all these questions on the reading part, how to go about that. Now let's talk about the writing and language portion as well. Now this is very interesting portion where you have all these grammar rules that you need to prepare for. And of course, each of these grammar rules will be tested with the help of different questions. And you need to make sure that you are aware of the rules and you know how to apply the rule as well. So two things we need to understand. One is, of course, to know the rule. Okay. And the second is obviously to apply the rule. So knowing the rule and application of the rule, these are two different things that you need to be familiar with. Okay. Now, let's talk about subject verb agreement for a bit. So any idea, anyone, what is subject verb agreement here? What is subject verb agreement here, everyone? No one. All right. So let's understand. Now the rule is pretty simple. Rule simply says that a singular subject takes a singular verb and a plural subject takes a plural verb. Okay. So a singular subject takes a singular verb, plural subject takes a plural verb. That's what subject verb agreement is all about. All right. So here, let's have a look at this. Please go ahead, read the sentence. If you could tell me what is the subject here. Everyone. All right. Absolutely correct. Right. Now, in this case here, as you can see, subject is nothing but how do we define it? Subject is the doer of the action, right? So whoever is performing the action, and action is basically the verb, right? So here goes is the action, that's the verb. All you need to do is ask yourself who or what is doing the action, and that will tell you the subject here. So who's going to school? Obviously, Anthony is going to school, and that tells me that it is the subject out here. Are we clear here, everyone?
Yes, sir.
All right, then please go ahead, apply the rules to here. Tell me which is the plural verb. All right. So here some people are going for does, eats, and all. Let me tell you guys, a verb that ends with an S is going to be singular. Therefore, goes, eats, does all are singular. Do is the only plural verb out here. Therefore, not true. Are we clear here, everyone? So now that we understand subject and verb a lot better, let's now have a look at this here. Please have a look. You tell me what seems to be the subject of the sentence here. All right, great. Plenty of time here launching or ending the poll, rather, sharing poll results. Now, if you see here, 56% have gone for A part, but a lot of us have gone for roses and this thing as well. So the problem here is, see, the first thing is what you need to do, just like the process, identify the verb first. The verb in this case was clearly decorates. And then you can obviously, subject, as I told you, verb with an S is singular. So your subject can also be singular. Roses, yellow roses gone out of the way. Only bouquet was the logical choice that you can possibly go for. Are we clear here, everyone? Do we understand? Here then. Please go ahead, have a look at this. Now, this one is testing you on the concept of apostrophes. Let's see what choice you apply or what choice you go for on this one here. All right. So I have people answering different choices. Well, let me tell you, it's not D part for sure. The cat licked its tail. Only A part is a logical choice because if you go with B part, it is. It is, sorry, I mean, it with an apostrophe S simply means it is. That does not make sense, right? The cat licked it is tail. Absolutely illogical to say. Here, then, have a look at this one. Let's see what choice we go for. Everyone. In fact, let's answer it on the poll only. Please go ahead. Answer it on the poll. All right, guys. Ending the poll now. Let's have a look. So if you look at your poll results, B part is what majority is opted for, which is absolutely the right choice. The word children's, now the word children is already plural, and there is no reason for any of us to add a word to make it plural, right? And therefore, we should definitely get rid of C part as a possible option, right? So you should obviously learn these basic rules, otherwise we'll end up making the mistake. Another opportunity for you to apply the same rule that we have with the apostrophes. Let's see what choice we go for. All right, guys, here let's have a look at the choice ending the poll. Now, sharing your poll results, everyone almost has gone for C part, which is the B part, which is the wrong one. The only logical choice was C part. Now, as you can see, guys, on such an easy concept, we are making so many mistakes. Why? Because we are not paying attention. Here, the word they implies plural. Therefore, I need to go with the plural option. And the only difference between B and C was singular plural. And as you can see, that makes a huge difference, right? Are we clear here, everyone? Do we understand?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. So let's apply this here. Now, this is a question. Sorry, not this one here. Now, this is testing you on question 2 here. Okay. So this part here, let's see what choice you select is the best one. Please go ahead, have a look at it here, launching the poll for you. Mark your choices on the poll. All right, I believe everyone has answered. Ending the poll now. Showing poll results. So if you see here, clearly we have fallen for the trap again, where B part is absolutely not the right answer choice. And yeah, that's where we have gone for the wrong one. So what has happened again? Same thing, we did not apply the process here. Okay. And that is the same mistake that you have made again, right? Why have we made that again? Because first thing that you need to do is look at the verb occur versus occurs. So clearly that a difference of singular and plural. All you need to do was identify the subject. Subject is anyone which is singular. So if my subject is singular, my verb should also be singular. And therefore all plural options are eliminated, such as A and B. They is again plural, singular all the way. D part, the only logical answer choice that one should have gone for. Are we clear here, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So there you go. As you can see clearly here, it's not just knowing the rule. And a lot of us think that way, that, okay, if I just know the rule, I'll be able to solve the question. But that is far from reality, right? So unless we really learn to apply these strategies, we will never be able to achieve the kind of accuracy that we are targeting on these questions. And that is precisely what we help you to do. That is exactly what we help you learn. First the rule, and then the strategies, may it be math or verbal. And then of course you can learn to apply them on your own. I've shared a form with you guys, by the way. This is for our reference. Please go ahead, fill it up. And here, so the program offerings that we have, the SAT program, 60 hours of live and interactive classes, one-to-one, doubt sessions, 2,500 plus questions, mock tests. All of that is available with the program that we offer, right? So how to prepare? Of course, concept building is the first part of it. Then concept application. As you can clearly see, today's session, I have talked about two things primarily. Learning the rules and then application of the rule. These are the main things that you need to do. And then, of course, the concept of practicing and testing is there. So phase one, you start with diagnostics, you learn the rules, you apply them. In the phase two, you practice rigorously. In the phase three, you start taking mock tests and all. Right. Some of our achievers here, as you can see, people are achieving some great scores, 1580, 1570, 1530. A lot of people and many more who've scored in excess of 1500. So in case you wish to know more about our programs, please go ahead, reach out to my colleague, Mr. Deepak. The number is on your screen. And in case you wish to have any questions for me, please ask now. However, I request you to please fill up the form that I've shared in the chat. That is for our reference. And in case you wish to get your profile evaluated, or you have any other query whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to help you out. Any questions, please ask now.
No, sir.
All right, then, guys, in that case, that will be all wonderful. Thank you so much for joining. All the best. We'll see you in the sessions then. All the best.
Yes, thank you,
Stay
sir.
safe. Happy learning. Yeah, bye. All the best. Bye.
Thank you, sir.